Hey guys, Orgran here, and welcome back to another Horizon Zero Dawn video. And there's been a lot of confusion with the weapons in terms of what the icons mean and what the weapons do. There's so many bows, like what makes this bow better than that bow. And I'm going to go ahead and let you guys know right now that there are some pretty good differences in the weapons. I'm about, let's see how far, 70% of the way through the game, about 50 hours deep, and I got a pretty good amount of shadow bows, including all of the lodge weapons. I have a good understanding about how they work. So we'll start with the spear. There's nothing too special about the spear. The spear itself can be upgraded eventually, and I myself have been doing a crap ton of not story missions, so my spear's not upgraded because you do get the upgrade from a story mission. But we'll start with the Shadow Sling. Now, the Shadow Sling is there's two versions of the sling. There's the Shadow, and then here I have the Blast. Now, the Blast Sling is for just explosions, which is the first icon you see there underneath ammo. The next underneath that is Proximity, which means that you lob the bomb. Wherever that bomb lands, if anything gets close enough to it, it will explode. And the bottom one, which you unlock when you get the Shadow variant or the Lodge Blast variant, is the sticky bomb. Now wherever you plant that, be it on a rock, ground, people, it will stick and blow up eventually. This sling in particular has elemental affinities to it, so you see that it has the ice ammo, it has the electricity ammo, and the fire ammo. I really don't like using the regular sling. The blast sling is probably way more effective if you're going to use it for it. And then once you get the Rattler, which is this weapon here, it is way more effective at putting status effects on animals or anything like that, except for fire. But if you're going to use fire, you might as well just go ahead and use your hunter bow. Speaking of the hunter bow, now this has a pretty good handling, which handling is rate of fire, and I'm pretty sure reload time, so you put your arrow in your bow. And then it's got the regular old hunting arrow. Everybody starts with that arrow. And then you got your fire arrow, which does fire damage. And then you have your hardpoint arrow. And that does the exact same thing as the hunter arrow, except it costs more to make. Not much more, but it does cost more to make, and it does a huge more amount of damage. It's amazing. I love this weapon. This is my go-to. And then you got your Tripcaster. You shoot it at one point, and then you shoot it at another point. Creates a tripwire in between those 2 points, and be whatever kind of elemental type you used, electricity or explosion or fire, which is from descending order, it will actually cause a massive amount of damage or elemental damage. It's pretty good for say if you're doing a corrupted zone and it's a bunch of big shit, just go ahead and take the explosive tripwire and launch them. Pretty much just launch like all 12 of them, and they will run into them and die immediately pretty much. It's super helpful for those really hard corrupted zone fights. Now the Rattler, oh man, I didn't think I was going to like this weapon, but I do. This weapon is the best. Now, Thunderjaws originally took me about 15 minutes to kill. Not anymore, man. With these ice arrows, just freeze that bitch with half a clip. Feel free to make more if you want, but you probably won't need to. Freeze him, go ahead and shoot his heart a couple times with your concentration ability. That thing's dead in under a minute, and if you do not kill it by the time it thaws out, just go ahead and use your Ropecaster, which is, I have the Lodge Ropecaster here. This one I just got randomly, but this one I mainly focus on upgrading the stability, because if you have a huge amount of stability on your Ropecaster, it fires like a machine gun. There is nothing that can break out of your ropes fast enough to keep you from roping it down. It's an amazing weapon, and I really highly recommend that you do all of the star trials to get the highest Ropecaster available, which is this one here. Now, the warbow, I really don't like it. The only thing I use the warbow for is the corruption arrow, which is the bottom arrow there. From the top we got electricity, ice, and corruption. Now what corruption does and how I upgrade this bow is I use all plus 30 to 40% corruption, and I just shoot one arrow right into any machine, and it's mine for about 30 seconds to a minute, maybe longer. I don't know, they usually don't last that long. But it is a really big help if you have two Thunderjaws on you and you just want to take one out of the fight for a little bit, have it help you for a minute. Other than that, you're going to want to kind of stay away from this bow, to tell you the truth. I really don't like it. Now the Sharpshot bow. This bow is going to be, well, it is my secondary weapon. Now for the ammo types, we have the regular sniper arrow, which it does a decent amount of damage and tear damage, but the real problem with this bow is the handling. It does not have a very good handling stat, so it's going to take a lot longer to recharge and to get that perfect arrow shot. So below the regular sniper arrow, we have your tear blast arrow, which you'll probably find yourself using most out of this bow, because depending on the component that you use, it will be 1 to 3 tear blast arrows to shoot it off. And I only say 1 to 3 because the later enemies, like there's one enemy in particular that it's not going to take 1, it's not going to take 2, it's going to take 3 or more tear blast arrows to shoot pieces off of this thing. You can't get used to shooting it with 1 arrow and breaking it off. So with that out of the way, we got the harvest arrow, which is the arrow there covered with the nuts and the bolts icon. And what that arrow does is it actually duplicates components that you shoot off of animals or machines. So if I were to shoot a canister off of a one of those cow ones, it would actually give me 2 blaze canisters. Maybe if you were to use the Ropecaster and tie stuff down, maybe the tear blaster would be more efficient. Say a storm bird comes and you want to blast his engines off so he can't dive bomb you anymore. Might be pretty effective there. Other than that, the range is very limited and I kind of stay away from it. There's more better weapons to use. Now I already talked about the warbow, but I do have an upgraded version here if you want to see the difference. This compared from the regular Shadow to the Shadow Lodge warbow, which is what I'm going to call it because it's purple anyway. But it has higher handling, it has higher, it's like 5 more of everything, if you can look at it like that. It's not a huge upgrade, but there is a big upgrade there. And then, oh, a hot dog, that looks like it. One other thing I want to bring up is that the Ropecasters do have different ammos depending on what Ropecaster you do in fact use. So if I go here to my Ropecaster ammo packs, you can see I have tie rope heavy, tie rope medium, and tie rope light. The tie rope light is going to be used for the green one that I currently have in my inventory, the only green thing I have. The medium one you're probably going to use, that's probably going to be the first thing that you get because you want to get the what's it called, the Karja Ropecaster. But then once you get the Shadow Ropecaster or the Lodge Ropecaster, the tie rope heavy is going to be your jam. Anything that you hit with this tie rope is going down eventually. You may have to get 3 or 4 on some of the bigger ones, maybe even 5, but oh my gosh, it is not even going to make a difference. Well, actually there is one thing I forgot. The Sharpshot bow is more accurate. And what that means is not necessarily it's more accurate than the other bow. But when you do have the ability to knock more than 1 arrow, say you have 2 or 3 arrows, and you use it on a regular war bow or a hunter bow, those 3 arrows are going everywhere. They're not going to go into the same component that you want. So if you're silently taking down a bandit camp or anything like that, you see a heavy duty enemy, pull out the Sharpshot bow, rack up 3 regular sniper arrows, and aim at his head. All 3 of these arrows are going right into his head. And that's the real reason that you would kind of use the Sharpshot bow other than the tear blast arrows. So if this helped you at all, go ahead and leave a like, go ahead and comment, or I don't know, maybe you could subscribe. That would be fucking crazy. Other than that, go ahead and let me know if you want to see anything else, and have a good one. See ya.